Hello, I'm trying a live stream again. I enjoyed it yesterday, it was good fun. I don't know how many people are watching, it's very difficult for me to see. Currently there's one person in. Hello, if you're watching. I have an R10 here that's going to feature in a future video, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a run through live. You can't see what I'm shooting at, but 30 meters away I've got some targets, and I'm just seeing which variety of QIS pellet works best through the gun. And all you're gonna do, hello, hey mate, looks like you've got a decent gun there. Yes, Greg, I do. Well, let's hope I do. Have fun. Thank you. Yeah, if you can't stick around, that's cool. Like I'm just seeing what's up. Hello. So again, I've never done one of these before. This is new. I've got no idea if it's going to go well or not, or how many people are going to be in, or whatever. But I'm just seeing this is 177. And I'm just now seeing what it groups like. I picked this up from Crackshot to do a review, so there will be a full review coming. But what I like to do is just have a test of the guns before I make a video. So this is like a live test, essentially, of this R10. All right, now that was how many people are in here? I can't see. 11. That was a good group. Had an R10, 9.54. I'm using 8.48s at the moment. So that's a bit of fun, but the group is tight. So I know at least that those QIS pellets are good. I have all three varieties of QIS pellet here. So what I might do is I'll shoot 3 test groups, and then I'll go and get the targets, and we can have a look at how it groups together. Please, because this is new, and I quite enjoyed doing it yesterday as well. JSB exact 4.50. Okay, I never stock 4.50s. They're never a pellet that I've ever used, in JSBs at least. Now, some people say that the actual skirt diameter doesn't really make any difference. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I'm still trying to find that out. But one thing I can say with some confidence is that QIS pellets are very good. They're always exceptionally clean, and they're always reliable. I think I've had one Duff QIS pellet in the thousands and thousands that I've used over the last year and a half. So what I'm going to do now is, this is the second variety of QIS pellet that I have, and I'm going to see how this groups in comparison to the first, so we can then get them all together and have a look. My eyesight is so bad. When through the whole, oops, that disappeared before I got to see it. Sorry, I'll respond to that in a second, Rich. Double loaded that. Apologies. Okay, now this is looking, and I'm going to show you the evidence in a second. That one is looking very, very tight. Okay, so cool as heck. Really like that. That's encouraging. So these QAS pellets are shaping up very well. I'm going to do the last one, which is that variety, and then I'll go and get the evidence and we can look through it together. Bearing in mind, this is just what I'm doing to get a feel for the gun, see how it groups at 30 meters. And often, well, all the time, I want the gun to be able to group well at 30 meters. If it can't, then it means that I need to clean the barrel, I need to change the pellet, or there's something wrong with the gun. It's noticeably darker in where you are. Yes, well, I live in Southwest. We are gifted here with light. That's not true. It just means that we're closer to the equator. That sort of stuff does obviously make a difference. Apologies if I don't see everyone's response. I'm not very good at multitasking, as you're probably aware. And but this is the last test group that I'll do using this variety of the QIS. Then I will grab the targets and we can have a chat about how they look. Last one. Okay. Hi, hello. Okay, so I've got the 3 groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run up and go and get the targets. Then we can see which variety of the QIS pellet group the best, okay? So hold on, I'll put the gun down safely. I will be less than 30 seconds. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is interesting, this is fun. So that there is the first group that I shot using that variety of QYS pellet. Now that's okay. I would guess that is about the size of a 20p piece. Now this one is very interesting. So I'm recycling targets. Don't think that I am always this, well, it's tough times, as everyone knows, right? So I was aiming for the red target there. That was my group using that variety of pellets. And that is considerably better. There's a bit of a flyer there, but that is a tiny group using the 9.56. I think someone said that earlier on in the chat. And the bigger group is using that one. So what I've just learned is that for the video that I'll make doing a complete review of the gun, I'll be using those pellets because I just got a ridiculously good group. That little one down there. Now again, I'm recycling targets here, so it doesn't look like the nicest thing in the world, but I am going to be using the streamlined 9.56 grain for the review, hopefully this weekend when I go on to do a more detailed, in-depth video. Your HW100 KT loves 9.56. Yes. I'm still getting used to QIS pellets. I am heavily used to using JSBs, and I think that it's taken me a little bit of time to sort of translate over, but I'm slowly beginning to see that QIS are very, very good. I Still favor JSB heavies, the 10.34 grain ones for longer distances of about 50 meters. But for kind of plinking and target shooting, the QAS pellets are pretty hard to beat. Actually, I'm really enjoying them. The other thing that I wanted to say real quick was how good the Gammo was. I know that some of you have seen that video, but I was very impressed with my HW110 can't get on with QAS. So that's interesting, isn't it? So one of the things that I'm also learning is that shooting is a very dark art. So as much as, but it loves JSB heavies. Okay, right, there you go. So one of the things is that you have to not only pick the right pellet for the gun, but you even need to pick the right magazine. Now, Rich, I would imagine because you're using a 110, they have one of the best magazines in the world. So I would anticipate that it's nothing to do with the magazine at all. It's definitely a pellet thing that's specific to that gun. However, the gentleman before you in his 100 said that his 100 loves QAS. So it is worth investigating some of the differences between even identical makes of guns that you would think that would, there you go, thumbs up, thank you, that you would think if someone tells you that this gun likes a specific pellet, it's a good place to start, but don't be disappointed if your gun doesn't. All right, and the reason for that is I would imagine that there are manufacturing differences between barrels that we can't really explain. An analogy, I'm just seeing how many people are in here. How many people? 33, that's insane. So one of the things I was talking about yesterday is guitars. You can have two identical guitars that sound different and feel different. There are going to be subtle differences between instruments that make them unique, and it's exactly the same thing with guns. I do also think that there's an element of user specificity between guns. So, like, for example, if Professor Ballinger uses a gun and it's zeroed in for me, his 0 point will be completely different. So there are like biomechanical and physiological differences that will mean that people don't shoot the same. Now, Rich, I'm not saying that that is anything to do with the reason why your gun doesn't like QAS pellets. I would imagine from the things I've read from your comments that you probably know what I'm saying. You're very well versed in shooting from the sounds of things. Anyway, I will give you an opportunity if anyone has any questions. There's 30-ish people in here. Don't know that about instruments. Yes, so it's absolutely true. And the thing you have to do is, so one of the difficulties with buying guns is that there's less opportunity when they're new. Good evening, Craig. There's less opportunity when you purchase a new gun to actually try it. All right. Now, one of the reasons why Crackshot is so cool is they have a range upstairs, and they're not going to let you be up there all afternoon with their brand new AGT or Steyr or anything. But if you're interested in the gun, you can actually go and use it. That isn't the case for most gun shops. So largely, and I could be wrong here, please tell me if you disagree with this, it's very difficult to try out new guns. And in some cases, it can be hard to try out secondhand guns. And that's one of the reasons why the videos that I make on the channel are, they're intended to tell you about what the guns are like that Crackshot are selling. So the Gammo, for instance, you know how well that shoots now with me using it, and let's assume that you're a better shot than me, how it can shoot at 30 meters. That's the benefit of Crackshot. Yes, Mr. Campbell, absolutely. And sometimes you just got to be lucky. I have had to take a few guns back because I've been extremely disappointed with them. I spoke about that a little bit yesterday. And we have consumer rights for a reason. And if you're spending any money, you want the gun to perform as it should. And I'm not saying that you can get pellet on pellet accuracy like that every time. That's the flyer. But you know, if it grouped like a shotgun, I'm just going to show you an example of this. I was thinking this is something that would be so nice to try before you buy. Yes, absolutely. So check this out. Look at that for a group. Okay. Would you like me? I can explain and try and justify what was going on here if you're interested in. So if you had a gun and you could shoot. So let's assume that I can, and I can regularly get groups that are like that. If you got a gun that was shooting like that, and that was the data, that would be terrible. You'd want to send it back because that is not appropriate at all. I got this group from, what was the gun that I was using? I believe when it was windy on Sunday after the boxing, I was using the Gammo with the wrong type of pellet. And that sort of led me to think that, hang on, there could be something wrong with the gun. There's not. I was using it at way too far a distance. I was shooting at 40 meters. I hadn't cleaned the barrel. Zbroia Hortesia. Yes. So the Zbroia Hortesia had a group like that with some cheap pellets. Yes. So, okay, that can happen. When do you do your review? Try the QS. Yes. Okay. Zbroia Hortesia. So I have never used one. However, Zbroias look like they're fantastic guns. Hi, are QAS planning to release pellets in 2.2? Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Yes, I believe that they are, but there's been some problems and some delays. Zbroia Hortesia, they look very good. I understand that the Zbroia Kozak was plagued with power problems. When they were shipped over, they were running very hot, and that may have put a few people off using them. However, I really like the look of Zbroia guns. I would love to try one, but they don't seem to be a brand or a make that is very easy to obtain. That might be partly due to where I live, but yeah, I would love to try as a Hortesia or a Kozak. They look like they're really good, and they seem like they're really good value too. Definitely the sort of like Eastern guns seem really strong to me, but I believe that they're manufactured in the Ukraine, and I know that they're having difficulties right now with what's happening geopolitically, so there are going to be some issues there. I can't believe how quickly that almost 20 minutes has gone. So does anyone have any more questions or any comments? They can be good or bad. I'm used to the criticisms by now, so if anyone has anything to say, I will log off and let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. But for me, that was very, very useful. So I now know Webley Springer from Trago can hit a barn door. Yes, okay. The only way that you could hit the barn door, the only way that you hit the barn door would be throwing the gun, presumably. But we've all been there. And I could make a similar remark about some of the other guns that I've used historically. So, but as I was going to say, and I'll finish up with this. So it was really useful to whilst I had some free time this evening, come out and find which pellet works well for that gun. So as I said, that little group there, okay, there was a flyer, but I was obviously aiming for the bullseye, but that is the group there. It's about the size of my pinky nail. So I know what pellet works well for that gun. Ah, yes. The RM8 Craig is one of my favorite guns. I think that they absolutely knocked it out of the park with that. Crazy, superb accuracy. And I think it puts many of the guns that cost literally thousands of pounds more to shame. Walther, Rotex did a great job. How much does it cost? Jason, what you're referring to, Jason? The RM8 is roughly £500, I think. And I will test the QIS pellets in the R10 out of 40 meters, okay? I think really that I pride myself on being honest with the shooting, and I think that it's important to be able to show you guys the groups at different distances. Now, anyone that's in this little live stream will know some of the background to the making of the video that I will make later on in the week for the R10, but it's a really useful place for me to be able to start, because these take time, believe it or not. I have to edit them. I use 2 cameras. I need to get the targets ready, etc., etc. And I know I make some mistakes sometimes in what I'm talking about. Like, I know I referred to the Gamma the other day as a PCP, and it's not a PCP. It felt like a PCP. It functioned like one, but obviously it wasn't. That's what I'll do. Anyway, listen, that's enough talking from me. I will be quiet now. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Have you been to Crackshot since they changed the bell? It's so loud now. I will have been into Crackshot. I won't have used the range. Greg, thanks for the live stream. The geography teacher in me will have to... okay, all right. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I might have got some of my quibs about being closer to the equator wrong. That was just my assumption. So I haven't been into the range at Crackshot since they've changed the bell. No, I go up there occasionally. It's not your distance from the equator. Okay, my bad. Sorry, what was that last question? I'm just sorry for my proximity to the camera here. What was that last one? I've tried every pellets I could to get my hands on my BSA. It spirals downrange. Any ideas why? Louis, are you shooting FAC? Sometimes if an FAC gun, or any gun, if it's powered too hot, I think there's dangers of the pellet going a little bit haywire downrange. And have you tried things like cleaning the barrel and all of that good stuff? Or is there like an inherent problem with the gun? It's sub 12. Okay, that's interesting. And you've tried every single type of pellet? And you've cleaned the barrel, right? I'm going to wait for your reply before I say anything else, because I'm assuming you have. Don't leave me hanging here, brother. Anyway. No, it's sub 12. Is it? So Liam is asking the same thing. All pellets available. What distance are you deeming it not acceptable at? Because, I mean, if you're saying, like, you're not happy at 60 meters or something, then I could possibly understand it. But if you're saying that, you know, if there's a problem at 20 meters, there might be a problem. By the way, before anyone asks, that is not beer. Super malt is a delicious malty drink that is actually popular in Africa. It tastes a bit like Horlicks. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Horlicks, but super malt is a delicious drink, and it's also very good for instant carb gain. So if you're looking to do some exercise, a super malt is a wonderful choice of drink. So that is not beer, before anyone flags me up for being hypocritical. I missed a comment there. 30 meters. That's interesting. And you're shooting from a bench, and have you given it to anyone else to see if they replicate the same problem? That would be interesting. It's always worth running it by other people. I've had to do that before when I have been very unsuccessful. Yeah, that's a good point. A scope issue. It could be a scope problem. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because there's so many variables, because shooting is such a dark art that it could be the scope, it could be the slightest bit of movement or trigger technique. That's something that I'm still working on all the time, is how I actually pull the trigger of the gun. So yeah, sorry I haven't been much. I've always been impressed by the sub 12 for the Ultra was my first crush among UK guns. But the R10 has made it onto my bucket list these days. So Peter Leonard, I have owned Ultras, the single shot and the multi-shot. The only thing that they suffered from was a low shot count. To me, there was really no discernible difference between using the Ultra and the R10, if I'm being honest. And in many ways, I actually preferred the single shot Ultra that I had because it was so light. That comment came up again. Oh no, sorted the pellets and bench. The scope is 4. And my friend have tried it the same issue. Well, I guess it would make me think that there could possibly be something hooky with the gun. Yeah, and there is a difference between poor grouping and spiraling. You said they were spiraling. I wouldn't know how to determine what spiraling even really meant. I was thinking it was like going subsonic and then like developing a life of its own, which I can't ever say that I've experienced personally. But I think Mr. Grey Lag would be a wise person to wait for his response in this little chat if you are if you're interested. He's clearly very knowledgeable, and I'm still learning. Like, I'm not claiming that I have all the answers at all. You know, I'm just trying to be honest with how things how they come out. So yeah, that's it. Wow, 27 minutes. Like, that's crazy to me. It's really nice that people are seemingly interested in all of this. It's lovely. It is getting dark now in sunny Devon. Yeah, okay, well, that's good to know. So yeah, well, we're all learning, you know. It's every day's a school day. That's quite literally for some people as well, but yeah, I mean, okay, Louis, have you chronographed your gun? Because could it be the regulator? That's the only last thing that I can possibly say. I know for a fact that looks like the barrel could be dodgy. Is it new or second hand? Yeah. So think about the barrel, but then also think about whether the regulator in the gun is yeah, I would look at the regulator. So if you chronograph the gun and there's wild variation, that would indicate that there's a problem with your regulator. I would replace the regulator with a decent alternative. I have no dog in this fight. I know that the Huma, H-U-M-A regulators are very good. The group is not acceptable, and you can see the pellets just spiraling down range. The gun shoots at 11.5. I think I need a new gun. It does sound a little bit like you could benefit from a new gun. But I would still double check the regulator first, and then if you're in a position to consider a different gun. I'm a big fan of the RM8. I'm also a massive fan of the guns that Air Arms offer. The S510 is one of the best guns I've ever used, and they're or the S400 even. When you get a good one of those, they're absolutely amazing. Pellets clipping the moderator. Now that's a good. Yeah, if it's a new gun, I mean, like the gun does have a moderator on that's built into the shroud. If it's anything like this one, and if it is clipping the mod, that would be problematic. So, you know, exercise your consumer rights. I'm assuming that you're Italian, but you could be in the UK. And let's assume that they're the same as what we have here. What you're describing isn't good enough. So I would be inclined to follow it up. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all for your questions and comments today. It's amazing to think that there's been so many people. Yeah, that's a good idea on the moderator. That have been in to this. It's good fun. I won't do this every single day because. Okay. Go well, Rich. See you soon. I'll see you all soon. Okay, take care. And the next video will be the full-on demo review of the R10. Take care, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.